It's ProQuest season once again, everyone. Yeah, stuck there. But yeah, it's ProQuest Yokohama season again. So let's talk about how to get into your first ProQuest event. Now, a lot of content creators have talked about how to prepare a deck, which hero to play, the meta, what else? Like what cards would be good, heroes, matchups would be perfect for this ProQuest season. For this guide, however, we'll give an overview of what ProQuest is, and we'll talk about how to prepare for it and what to do during the day and after the event. Alright? So this is your ProQuest Yokohama Survival Guide. Let's begin. Hi everyone. Before we start, if you don't want to listen to 80 minutes of me blabbering, and you just want to, read about this, we'll be posting a transcript version in Metafy. So it's absolutely free. It's just, if you're not really interested in simply blab for 80 minutes, it's there. And, if you wanna read. So, all good. All good. Okay, a brief overview of ProQuest Yokohama. So ProQuest Yokohama is a qualification event for the Pro Tour Yokohama, which will happen in April of next year in Yokohama, Japan. All right. So the winner will get a gold foil CRM, right, plus a qualification to Pro Tour Yokohama, and getting to the top 8 and top 4 nets you additional prizes. I think the Swing Big is exclusive in this event. The top 8 Swing Big RF, Out Art, and the Overcrowded CF for top 4. So these are exclusive prizes if you win the ProQuest. Okay, for the participation, you get the Jetpack 3, which is a whole lot of goodies. So the event runs from October 4th to November 9th, so that's about 6 months. It will run with a format of CC or LL, so called Classic Constructed or Living Legend Classic Constructed, and the rules enforcement level is competitive. Now, since I'm most likely talking to new players this is your first ProQuest event, so you may not be super familiar with what the competitive REL means. So REL means rules enforcement level, and competitive means that it's a bit more competitive than casual rules enforcement levels that is implemented in armories and ODEs. So in armories, maybe you are allowed to do some takebacks when you do some actions. So for example, you missed the putting a energy counter on Federal Spring Tronic. In most cases for competitive REL, it's not allowed to, put a counter after the opportunity has passed. Okay? So you have to remember it's a bit more stricter, and there's a judge there to assist us in the event. So before the event, of course, you have to choose which hero you want to play. You have to have been testing that particular hero, and you have to have reps. You have to know your matchups, the meta, and all that. Okay, so what I can suggest here is that you choose the hero that you are most comfortable with. So whichever hero that is, I think it's the best hero to bring in the ProQuest, especially if you're a beginner. If this is your first time event, it's better because it's gonna serve you better. You know how to play the game better. So yes, of course it's even better if it's a meta hero, but even if it's not a meta hero, you may still be able to perform well because the general meta is not really the same as your local meta. So it might change. You might win. You might get the top 8, or even win the whole thing. All right. So do some practices, do some reps. Okay, put in the time. Play in your LGS. Okay, uh, spam the armories that you could spam. Play in, and do your thing. All right. Supplies and essentials. Now, a live recording tool is required. In most cases, a phone a phone app that has a history tracking mechanism to it is allowed in some events, but some events might require you to use a pen and paper. So always have that handy. Okay. Now for the pen and paper, it's good. It's a good way to track which your life, right? How much life has changed for every instance of damage that you received, or if you have healed, you've healed. Okay. Now, take note, the pen and papers can only be used for live recording. So you cannot take notes like, oh, they did this, blah, 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 during the game. So note taking during the game itself is not allowed, right? Dice tokens and counters. You have to provide your own tokens, and you have to bring dice and counters to represent whatever things going on in your, um, in your play area. So for example, you have a channel lightning valley. All right. So the flow counter should be properly represented. Okay. Now, bring extra card sleeves. I cannot stress this enough how many times this has happened wherein a card sleeve has been damaged and the player was not able to find a replacement. Now sure, your local game store will sell it. Okay, they will definitely sell some sleeves, but it's always best to prepare extra sleeves just to be sure. Okay, and of course, bring snacks, water, and for me, I always bring extra clothes because I may get sweaty while playing a highly competitive event. So I'm gonna change my shirt because I don't want to stink. Okay, yes, I'm gonna edit it later. This should show you some picture of the actual stuff that I will be bringing in my ProQuest games. Okay, before the event, make sure you slept well, you ate enough, and please, for the love of all that is good and holy, take a bath. Okay? If you don't use a deodorant, I'm not gonna force you, but please take a bath. Alright? Because brace yourself for 8+ hours of fabs. Like that's like 5 rounds or 6 rounds of CC, Swiss rounds, and then 3 rounds of possibly top eight. So it's gonna be a lot. Alright? And there'll be a couple of probably breaks in between, depends on your LGS. So that's 8 hours of playing fab. So you have to be able to rest well and be energized and recharged because it's gonna be a really, 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 really long day. And finally, the requirements. All right, so you have to confirm your registration. You have to submit your deck lists online. Submit it in Gem. If you have any questions on how to submit your deck list online, please contact your local judge. They will be able to help you on that. Or it's on the website anyways. You can check it out for a tutorial on how to do it. Okay, double check the schedule. This is important. Double check when the round starts. Okay, because and arrive at least 30 minutes before round one starts. Because more likely than not, the judge will conduct a player meeting and they will announce whatever rules they will be enforcing in that particular event. Okay, so like whatever details, how many rounds, how many players, cut the top eight, etc. All right, so make sure you arrive like an hour or 30 minutes before the scheduled start of round one. You might be wondering why this is one. Okay, so now you have prepared everything, your deck, you've put into practice. You have to, before you jump into the day itself, you have to set a goal. Okay? You have to set a goal. What is your goal? So, as a first time player, maybe the goal is I just want to play all the games and play it well. Okay? Or you can say that I want to play it well, and if I make mistakes after the game, I'm going to take note of it. Those kinds of things. Okay? For first time players, it is definitely possible for you to get the top eight, but at the same time, understand that this may be your first competitive event, not just in Flesh and Blood, and maybe in the entire, you know, for any TCGA. I mean, right? So you have to manage your expectations, understand that there are a lot of good players in your locals, and maybe a lot good players flying in to your area to play for the ProQuest. So understand that you might not be able to win be the champion in your first ProQuest. But again, it's not impossible. I've seen a lot of people get to top 8 and even top 4 for their first ProQuest. Okay, so it's not impossible. But again, you have to manage your expectations. You know, I should practice this. Manage expectations. Anyway, all right. During the event, again, this is a competitive rules enforcement level. But even if it's not a competitive RA, right? Be polite, be kind. Okay. If players make a mistake, understand that maybe that's due to them making a mistake. Maybe it's not because they want to cheat or whatever. But of course, when in doubt, you always call a judge. Okay. But whether you call a judge or whatever, okay, you communicate properly. Okay. So be kind, be polite, communicate well. And whenever in doubt, if you have a question, if you have a concern, always call a judge. Always ask a judge. The judge uh, will be there to help you out. They are there to assist you in any way they can. Self care. Of course, you brought your snacks, you brought your food. Stay hydrated. Eat light so that you don't get like too full because it might tire you out if you're too full. Right? Take a breather. Take a break whenever possible. This is a long day. Okay, so if you lost a game which you think you should have won, go outside, take a breather, and rest. Okay, then come back, start it over again. B, once your once your game has ended, or maybe if you've dropped out, or maybe if you're not playing in the top 8 and it's already the playoffs, be a respectful observer. Give players space. Okay, refrain from making any comments. So even if it's like a ooh, ooh, it's like a small wins reaction or whatever, try your best not to make any sound or any comment. Okay, because it might affect how the players will play their game. Okay, so if you see something that shouldn't be, it's like a rules violation. If you think there is something amiss that is happening, do not interfere. Do not make a comment. Call a judge instead. I have to reiterate this. If you observe anything and you think the judge should be there to see this, you call the judge. Okay? So you do not interfere. Call the judge and ask them and communicate to them what you observed. And then they will decide if there is a need to interfere or not. Okay? And of course, enjoy the community. This is one of the few times in a year that a lot of people from other local game stores will join in your event in your local game store. In our LGS in particular here in Taiwan, our city is not really like a city that you always go to. So the regulars that we have are just the same faces. But for ProQuest seasons and for competitive events, we see a lot of influx from Taipei and Taichung, like nearby cities that will travel there. So like one of the times that we are able to interact with them. So my suggestion is again, of course, enjoy the community because like Flesh and Blood has a really good community, and if you could squeeze in a little bit, like a few reps in betweens. So if you could do that, do that. So, okay, enjoy your time there because it's like twice a year event in your LGS, right? So make the most of it. Okay, now after the event, so uh again, this is my suggestion. Personally, this is what I do every after event. I forgot my notes, but I have a notes here somewhere. Where is it? Wait, let me find it. Here. It's like I have a notes here. Okay. It's like this bird. Yeah. So like I put all my whatever notes that I learned after each game. Okay. So I write note after each game. So if let's say I played against who's this? Let's give an example. Mm, okay, let's just play. I played a mirror. I hate mirrors. So what did I learn? Okay, when's the right time to use my helmet of Kabuto? Because I played against another fan. All right, so I have to take note of that. What could have happened? What could have I changed? Should I have gone first or second? If I have gone first, what should I have done? What should have I done? Right, that's the correct English. Right. So you ask yourself what worked, what didn't work, what needs to be changed in my deck. If the meta has been different, how should I have adjusted? If and if I'm gonna play in another ProQuest event the next week, what should I do to prepare for it? Okay, so it's always best to have your handy notes with you. Take note after each game and then review it after the event itself. It's also good if you could talk to someone about it, talk to a friend about it, and brainstorm on what to do next. Next, celebrate wins. Now, this is your first ProQuest, right? Okay, so okay, even if it's not your first ProQuest, you got the top eight. That's really good. You missed, like, almost got the top eight. Still celebrate it. Okay, You won your first competitive REL game. That's really good. You finally won a ProQuest. It's even better. But I suggest, okay, even if it's small or big, you celebrate it. Okay, you celebrate having to enjoy the experience. Again, it's cliche, you know, but it doesn't happen every day. So might as well enjoy it, right? Might as well celebrate it. And of course, stay connected. As I've said previously, this is one of the first few times wherein players can be, you know, meet each other. Players from different LGSs, aside from, of course, the bigger calling events. But for my community, like back in the Philippines also, it's not always that we have a competitive event. So use that opportunity to meet other players and stay connected. Maybe find a group, find a sparring, like a practice partner, and all that. So yeah, that's it. All right, that's it. Took us 17 minutes, but we're here. Okay, now so now we're here. We'll be creating a Metafy PDF version of everything. So if you're interested, please check the description below. We will be adding it once we upload it. Okay, add it when you upload it. Okay, note to self. Yeah, it's for free. Don't worry about it. Don't need to pay for anything. But it's just like a transcript of everything we talk about. So if you're not really a fan of listening through this, I should put this in the start now. I should put it in the start. Yeah, I'm gonna insert this. I will. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.